Hello, good morning, and Barakah de Salah to my Muslim brothers and sisters. Welcome to TVC Breakfast. My name is Etoma Edu.
Indeed, thank God it's Friday. Barakah de Salah to all our Muslim fans and friends. Happy to be here again. I am Veronica Danik Boy.
Good morning, Nigeria, and in the spirit of Salah, I greet you all. Barka da Sallah, barka da koko, na gaishe ku, Allah ya bamu zaman lafiya. Sunana Ria Abdul and Sanu da zuwa. Good morning, Nigeria.
Ria had to show us the shoes from that part. Good morning, everybody.
Boy.
It's TVC Breakfast on Saturday, or on Friday rather, and we're going to be having a lot of fun today. But first, we like to see plenty of meat on our table.
This is the meat.
Not only plenty meat on the table.
Yeah, I need a transcript of what you said.
Right.
I was just wishing everybody,
wishing them.
Barka da Sallah. Allah ya bamu zaman lafiya. God should help us, live well, and we'll celebrate Salah well, and then Sanu da zuwa. That's welcome.
And this one was
basically
thinking, he was thinking it's a Saturday already, as we were saying.
Well, Barka da Sallah, everybody.
But then, of course, today is a public holiday, so the weekend has begun. So
The
you're
road was
right.
so empty when I was driving. It took me about, I think, 14-15 minutes to get to the office.
Are you serious?
That was quite
I
fast.
almost thought today was Saturday.
And you were wondering why you were coming to the office.
Because the roads were free. I'm like, is this Saturday? What am I daydreaming? What's happening?
But I loved it. I wish it was like this every other
Every
day.
day, every day.
Unfortunately, it's not
It's
like
not,
that.
no.
All right, like we told you, we have an array of issues we'll be looking at. Definitely talking about Eid-Al-Adha, and then also looking at how we can address matters of emergency response using technology. And then we'll look at stories that are, of course, trending now much later, and stories on the front pages of the newspapers. But this story is where we'll begin. Eid-Al-Adha, also known as Festival of Sacrifice, is a significant Islamic holiday celebrated worldwide. It commemorates Prophet Ibrahim's willingness to sacrifice his son Ismail in obedience to God's command. This festival is a celebration of faith, obedience, and sacrifice, highlighting Prophet Ibrahim's devotion to God. The celebrations of Eid-Al-Adha begins with special congregational prayers, followed by the ritual sacrifice of animals such as sheep or goats. Gift giving and festive meals with loved ones are also an integral part of the celebrations. Through these practices, Muslims around the world come together to strengthen their bonds of community and faith. The values emphasized during Eid-Adha include trust in God, selflessness, generosity, and community bonding. The festival encourages spiritual renewal, gratitude, and reflection on faith, obedience, and submission to God's will. As Muslims gather for Eid prayers, sacrifice animals, and share meals with others, they are reminded of the importance of compassion, kindness, and charity. Joining us for this conversation is the director of the Arabic Village in Lagos, Imam Imran Rufai. Good morning. Barka de Salah. Thank you for joining us.
It's my pleasure being with you today.
Great.
Everyone there.
All right. Now, today is that day to celebrate, but there are a majority of persons who are saying a lot of the demands that this celebration is requiring, talking about showing kindness, showing compassion, and also ensuring that they keep the tenets of the religion, is something they may not be able to fulfill as much as they would want because of the current economic situation. So what's your message to those who are watching now and are wondering how they can meet up with the demands required for them this time?
Bismillah walhamdulillah wa salatu wa salam ala rasulillah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. It's a beautiful day here in Nigeria and the world at large. One of the messages or the dimensions of this celebration with respect to Islam is that it encompasses what we call Al-Ab'ad, dimension, facets, that man might not be able to, grasp everything within its own, circumference. But the little we are able to grasp out of these Ab'ad dimensions are very germane. When we talk about the dimensions of this celebration, we're talking about the spiritual dimension, we're talking about the social dimension, we're talking about the duties that that comes with it. And of course, the economic dimension which we have just mentioned plays a very deep role in the beauty and the significance of the day, wherein the economy is not smiling at all at this point in time, and the Muslims are they are very much in their need of their pocket swelling, such that the main assignment of the day, which is the slaughtering of the sacrificial animal, will become something that is achieved. The Prophet ﷺ had told us in one of his narrations that one of the most beautiful things that Allah appreciates on this day is when you shed the blood of the sacrificial animal. Allah Ta'ala uses it to achieve a lot of things for the Muslims. No wonder some Muslims are not happy. They are not able to get the type of animals that Sharia has specified for Muslims to slaughter in sacrifice to the demands of their Lord. Not because Allah Ta'ala wants to eat the meat, not because Allah is interested in the blood, not because Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala wants to make use of the poor or the air or the on or whatever you have around the animals you're sacrificing, but rather Allah is watching and looking at the taqwa, God consciousness that you are about to display. If Allah is to be given a gift or a prize or a sacrificial animal, then it will be the best in the market, not the sick one, not the unhealthy one, and not, of course, the one that you will not be proud of to be given, not to talk of you giving to Allah. Therefore, the economic situation is something that government has to place more emphasis on, such that the Muslims will be able to do the needful to their Lord. However,
now before you go into the however side of your talk, I quickly want to ask you this. The economy, as you've mentioned several times while talking, is not smiling at anybody at all, and people do not have the wherewithal to buy the rams the way we used to see them some years back. Now, questions have been moving around. What if you cannot afford a ram? What is your alternative?
There are three alternatives. Alternative number one is to display what we call at-takaful al-ijtima'i, social cooperation. How? You bond with the rich one. You bond with the rich one and you help them in making sure that their own sacrificial animals are done in the right way by helping them to break it down or to share and take your own from them too. Option number two is to try as much as possible to be somebody that will pray that inshallah and work towards it, that inshallah by God's grace come next year I will make frantic effort either by saving to get mine. And option number three is to go on loan. On loan, if you are sure that your source of income coming on the way will be enough to clear what you cannot afford at this point in time. Some people can, recently a guy was challenged by an agency, National Orientation Agency, for saying this is not meant for civil servants. Civil servants cannot offer this, they cannot buy this. Similarly, in reality, some civil servants and some non-civil servants might not be able to afford 350 rams. A standard ram today in Nigeria, Lagos in particular, and my area to be specific, a good ram that you look at and you'll be happy will not go less than 350,000. A civil servant might not be able to do that, but he knows his salary is coming and it's great, and he knows he has budgeted, and he knows he can afford it. But just, in a bunch like that, might not be easy. He can take the loan and pay in part if it will not stress his bank account, his pulse, and whatever. Yeah. Some people can do that. It's an option.
I love the way, I love the way you broke it down for us. So if we don't have money, you know what to do to, get a ram to celebrate Salah. But thank you so much for joining us. First of all, Barakah Salah, and thanks for being with us today. But I want to start with knowing that the Festival of Sacrifice is one of the most important in the Islamic calendar. How does the story of Prophet Ibrahim shape the morals of how this is even celebrated today? We've spoken about economy, it's not easy to buy the ram and all of that, but let's also speak about the morals. Do we celebrate it the right way with modern technology?
Good. You have blended two things, tapping it from the historical fact, the historical trend that brought about this sacrifice, and relating it with the internet and the likes that you have mentioned. Of course, Prophet Ibrahim, one of the most important prophets of Islam and other religions too, has an impact in this. It's a reminiscence. We get to remind ourselves of what he went through. He had two wives. He placed one of them in that valley where nothing is there. And once in a while, according to some historians, once in 6 months, some said once in a year, some said once in 2 years, he would go visit the second family. And one of these nights, he had a dream. He slept and he had a dream. And he saw in that dream that Allah commanded him to sacrifice the only begotten son as at that time. And upon waking up, he invited the son to a roundtable discussion. He said, "Ya bunay, my son, your father, ara fil manam, I saw in my dream, anni azbahuk, I saw myself slaughtering you. Fanzur madha tara, my son, what do you see today?" The son, knowing fully well that his own father is a prophet, and one of the ways true prophets get inspiration, revelation from God is to drink. And he responded to his father without running away, without running for his life. He said, "If ya abati," look at the word, "Ya abati, my beloved father, if al-ma tu'mar, do what you have been commanded to do. That tajiduni, you shall find me, insha'Allah, if Allah will, min as-sabirin, from among the patient ones."
Imam, I'm sorry to butt in, but you know we're pressed for time. Just this question before we let you off this morning. Correct me if I'm wrong, please. I know we have quite a number of, when I use the phrase, nomenclature for the different celebrations that happens across the year. So that I won't murder either of the names I won't mention, but you understand better what I'm saying. What is the difference between this particular celebration in comparison to the various other, celebrations that you have in Islam? Quickly, please.
Excellent question, a very relevant one. For every celebration, there is an assignment, a commandment before it. For fasting, after finishing the 30 days or 29 days of fasting, there's a celebration that comes with it. And that is Eid-Al-Adha, where we do not slaughter. The only thing we do is to share some gifts out of our wealth to the needy, who will be happy on that day of celebration. As for this one, it's as a result of the completion of certain Hajj rites. It's in connection with the day of Arafah. After Arafah, we have the 10th day. An assignment given to those at Hajj. Right now, 2.5 million Muslims are gathered in Mecca to observe this rite. A successful observation and deliverance of this rite is the result of what we are having today, and this is the reason. And many other celebrations that we have, but the two are the main one, are the germane one. Eid-al-Fitr after Ramadan, Eid-Al-Adha after the completion of Hajj rite. And I think I have answered your clarification.
Absolutely.
All right. Thank you so much, Imam Imran Rufai, Director, Arabic Village, Lagos, for your time on the program. Barka de Salah once again. Have a great day.